Hey everyone, it's a Phoam Ranger here with another episode of Phoam Ranger Sports. I got my cousin Samwise the Rose.
What's up with it?
Yep, since I'm recording this while in Avon Lake, the Cleveland area, since I've been here for the past few days.
The best guy, the best sports dude.
Yep. Yeah, so this episode we are going to go over the college football playoff that started. So in the first round, James Madison as a 12 seed took on Oregon on the road, lost 34-51. Oregon will take on Texas Tech in the quarterfinals at the Orange Bowl on January 1st, New Year's Day. Then it was a bit of a battle. Well, Oklahoma jumped out to a 17-point lead early in the first half, but Bama took over and won 34-24. And they'll play the Indiana Hoosiers in the Rose Bowl on January 1st. On the other side of the bracket, Tulane, as another G5 team as the 11th seed, took on number 6 Ole Miss on the road, lost 10-41. So Ole Miss will face number 3 Georgia on New Year's Day. And the final first round game, number 10 Miami took on number 7 Texas A&M in a really low scoring affair and emerged victorious 10-3, and they'll play the Ohio State Buckeyes on December 31st at 7:30 p.m. So again, the field this year was Indiana, Bama, Oregon, Texas Tech, James Madison, Oklahoma, Tulane, Ole Miss, Ohio State, Miami, Texas A&M, and Ohio State. The two big ones who were left off were BYU and Notre Dame. So what are your thoughts about that field?
He said BYU. Yep. I love this guy. Also, I'm just saying, I'm calling it right now. The Hoosiers are winning the national championship. I'm just telling you right now, they're sneaky good. They got, the Heisman winning quarterback, okay? The offense, a high-powered offense that, everyone is, underwrites. And their defense, it's not, the best in the world, but it gets the stops. Look at Ohio State. They're the Ohio State University. So I think Indiana wins the entire thing this year.
Yeah, one thing about my dad's side family, they all basically went to Indiana, so they're big Hoosier fans.
I'm also not biased because I also like Ohio State. I'm from Ohio, grew up in Ohio, born and raised in Ohio, but just look at what happened with the last game that Ohio State and Indiana played in the Big Ten Championship. Indiana, walked all over them for no reason. I'm just calling it right now.
Yeah, Notre Dame certainly felt slighted about Miami getting in over them because going into that whole debacle, the ACC, which you're part of in that conference outside of football, was highly politicking for Miami to get in. And part of the reason why JMU got into this, along with Tulane, was because Duke won the Atlantic Coastal Conference at a 7-5 record and beat Virginia because the ACC had a really terrible tiebreaker thing, so that's why Duke got in there. And when Duke won, that knocked the ACC essentially out for a champion. And so Miami got in because of that. And the real curious thing was allowing Bama in, even though they're 9-3 out of the SEC. Years past, Ohio State, when they lost the Big Ten championship last year, they got bumped down a bit. And going into the last CFP playoff poll, Bama was ranked about 10th or something. And for some reason, maybe because their brand, maybe because they're in the SEC, and the ESPN has really strong ties with the SEC, especially since ABC and ESPN showcase a lot of SEC football games. And of course got Nick Saban as part of the college football committee, and the head of the college football committee now is the Arkansas athletic director, so maybe that could also have been a bit of a storyline behind why Notre Dame was left out and why Bama was allowed in over them, because he might have been a little pissed about the fact that Arkansas got belt to ass on their home turf by Notre Dame earlier this year. Yeah, so what I have him here for a bit is to talk about the playoffs, but also, get his perspective as being from the Big Ten country, about some of the big media people like Nick Saban, like Danny Kennel, like Joel Klatt, on like Twitter and social media have been saying that the G5 should not be involved at all. They should have their own separate playoff and have the power conference teams, especially the SEC and Big Ten, be highly involved in the college playoffs going forward.
Listen, I think if you can earn it, you should just own it. And you can, if you can like hang with like the big dogs, so to speak, if you can hang with the Ohio States and the Michigans and the Oregons in the country, and if you're some small name country or name college team, do it. Why not? Win the whole freaking thing. Like, I agree. If you're some small name school and you can hang and you can beat those big name teams, why not? Do it. You belong. You belong.
Yeah, especially since like GMU, I think GMU either this year or last year beat like a Duke from the ACC, like
Exactly,
NIU
yeah.
last year.
They did.
Took out Notre Dame on the road and beat them at Notre Dame Stadium. Yeah,
They did. I'd love to see some team like Ohio State or Indiana or Oregon go down. I'd love to see some from some no-name random school, and to win the whole thing. Do it. Why not? Why not you? Yeah.
Yeah, especially since that's what reality drives a lot of fans to watch college sports is the fact that you have like the Davids versus Goliaths. Like think back like 06 Boise State Oklahoma Fiesta Bowl. That was a hell of a
The Statue of Liberty.
yeah. As I said, that Statue of Liberty. That was a hell of a big game.
Yeah.
Drew a lot of people
Fiesta
in about
Bowl. Oh, yeah, dude.
the Cinderella stories about.
I love Boise State,
stuff.
by the way.
Yes.
I live in Cleveland, Ohio, and I love Boise State. I love Boise State. Yeah.
Yeah, so with that said, like a lot of it is they're like, oh, strength of schedule, stuff like that. But you have the ACC who just recently said that they're only really going to be scheduling games against other power conference teams, including the SEC, Big Ten. So we'll have seen more of like Mountain West or Pac-12 or more of the G5 teams get cracks at the big dogs going forward in the scheduling. Yeah, because eventually what the SEC and Big Ten are trying to do essentially is break off and have their own little playoff because reality, the ACC, Big 12 are much closer to the G5s like the Mountain West, the Pac-12 next year, the Sun Belt, or CUSA than they are in terms of competition with the SEC and Big Ten. And some of them have said it's because of like the blowouts. Well, let's not forget 2023 national championship game, Georgia TCU. Georgia
horrible.
completely dominated TCU, and
That
TCU
was-
only scored like 14 points, and Georgia like 70.
They scored 14 points.
Yeah, it was a little.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was something like that.
I thought it was less than that.
Yep. I'm just giving TCU a little more credit.
Well, I mean, hey, I was at work and I thought it was like 3 points.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it was still a massive blow.
It
Again, you
was
had
terrible.
blowouts last year
It was-
between power conference teams. Again, they want to bring up like a bit of Boise State, but again, that Boise State Penn State game was like 2 possessions going to third quarter.
Yeah.
So so the schools like Boise State and other G5 schools can hang with the power conference teams.
You just mess around and you find out. Basically, is like what it comes down to, kind of. I mean, you gotta really just like test these like random teams that like you didn't think got it, but they do got it, and yeah.
I mean, before the season, one of the Big Ten commissioners floated an idea of like expand the playoffs to like 24 teams. I mean, I think that could be real good, but I'd say make it so that way like all the other NCAA tournaments, like March Madness, the NIT, volleyball, soccer, all the conference champions are automatically in as the automatic qualifiers for win their conference. So, I mean, we have 10 football conferences in the FBS, all 10 conference champions get in. Then you have it be at large. The other 14 spots, the other 10 to 14 spots, be at larges. So that we could get other real deserving teams in. And yeah, that could be still like some multiple schools from the SEC, from the Big Ten, some from the Big 12, some from the ACC as well, like Notre Dame. I mean, one thing next year is that if Notre Dame has a good season, they'll automatically be in. But I think, if you're really going to want to change it up, hey, expand it and have it be conference champions are automatically in. So you have 10 auto bids, 4 teams to win their conference titles. So that's still a huge thing. Because unfortunately with like the Bama case, that makes conference titles not have as much luster. That you can lose your conference title game, have 3 losses. Again, like their losses were not against good schools either. We're sure there might have been other power schools, but nothing to write about. And again, they also have some cupcakes. Like always before the Iron Bowl, they always play like an FCS school. And again, they had to escape a win against Auburn, who finished like 6-6 in the regular season. So if you reward Bama, who with those kind of wins at the end of the season lose their conference title, and then you still have them get in when there might be other deserving schools like BYU or maybe Virginia or especially like Notre Dame, that can send a bad message and set a bad precedent. But if you expand the field again to like 20, 24 teams, automatically make the conference champions go in to the field. And you can have like the upper teams, like the upper division, like the Power 4 schools have like auto bids, sure. Then you can have the G5 start playing like similar to how they are now, like in the first round. Do similar seeding and everything like that. But just have the all conference champions be automatically in as automatic qualifiers. And then it's whoever else is the next best teams after those.
I agree.
Just do at-larges.
All right, Nate. Who wins the national championship this year? Who takes the Natty home this year?
Well, out of the remaining teams,
who takes it?
Of Oregon, Texas Tech,
who
Bama,
takes it?
Indiana.
Because I'm telling you right now, it's not Ohio State.
No, not the Suckeyes.
It's not. Yeah, it's not.
Yep. I mean, I love a Western.
It's not the Ohio State.
Yep.
And just for the record, I'm from Ohio. I grew up in Ohio my entire life. However, I just don't think Ohio has it. Like, they've barely won some, like, big games, and it's just not been very convincing this year.
I mean, Georgia always plays pretty good defense, but I don't think that's going to be enough, especially to play like Ole Miss or Ohio State in the semifinal in the Verbal Fiesta Bowl or Miami. I think they could lose. I mean, I think Indiana's going to take care of Bama. I think Oregon probably will upset Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl, and think Indiana wins the Peach Bowl and will probably face Georgia in the title game. I think Indiana could win it all this year.
I think they could do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Make a bet right now. Bet you $5 Indiana wins the whole thing.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Indiana wins this entire thing this year. I'm telling you right now. They got it, and Ohio State doesn't. It's just Ohio State's playing checkers, but Indiana's playing chess.
Especially with the Heisman, I mean, when you
just,
got a Heisman on your team, you're going to do way good.
Ohio State has like 4 or 5 people that, you have to cover, and you gotta guard them, whatever it works. But like Indiana, like proved that time and time and time and time and time again, and against Indiana in the championship game, and they beat them. So why can't they beat them again? I think that was a national championship game that's going to be repeated again. I think IU pulls the whole thing out. So,
right, and we'll probably call it at that. So, yep, we're both seeing Indiana will have a great likelihood and have great odds of win the whole thing this year. And as we mentioned, we both think that the G5 should be continually included in the college football playoff going forward. And if they are going to change the format, it does need to expand. So that way, just like all the other conference tournaments, or not the conference tournaments, but like the NCAA big-time tournaments like March Madness or any other sport, you have all the conference champions already in as automatic qualifiers, and they need to take the next 10 to 14 best teams in the nation, regardless of their brand, regardless of if it's like Ohio State or Bama or SEC or their conference logo affiliation. It's just, who are the other 14 best teams in the nation. And you have a playoff like that. I mean, that'll be huge. I think that'll go really well.
It'll be insanely huge.
Right. Well, this has been another episode of Phoam Ranger Sports. Hope you all have enjoyed it. And Go Broncos and enjoy the rest of the college football playoffs.
Go Broncos.